I've completed 2 game jams back to back, and I want to talk about it. The starting reason I've tackled 2 game jams back to back is to see if I can actually do it and take that challenge, and to obtain that specific experience. I was very curious of it. I've also felt creatively frustrated due to not having a strong enough PC to work on subjugation, and the slow technical process I deal with when adding content to Shrimp. I kept on thinking about wanting to make and create for all of you without all the thinking I was gonna can subjugation to the side and focus on another main project. I didn't want to start a newer main project without some solid underlining reason. So that's when it hit me. If I make a game for a game jam, the game is small, fashioned and designed to be a concept game. A game that's not fully fledged, but an experience that provides an end. It's not meant to be a main project. All of this is the starting reason. It began to sprawl and adjust to another framework. I could use these game jams to make games that'll advertise my main projects and all of my works. And on top of that, I can make these games in the game jams payment optional games in case someone would like to add a tip. Though I'm not expecting a tip, I'm happy when the games get played. I really want Shrimp to get recognition. This continuing train of thought made me realize this is a big gateway for it. Little did I know that doing these game jams made me find a newer niche and actually helped me understand root mechanics for future projects I plan for. I'm not going to go over this game in an in-depth process. I will for a later video. Instead of breaking down the creation of this game, I'm going to speedrun a synopsis about how I first compiled my thoughts together to make it and what I felt. This game jam is my first public one I've done. Solvent was a self-made game jam that I've done. I guess it's more like a challenge than a actual game jam since I was like the only participant when it comes to the Solvent project. When I joined, the theme was already announced. I did join on the 7-day mark, just a few hours late to the party. The theme announced was laid on, "You're not alone." I told myself I have 30 minutes to come up with the story for the game. I dusted off some old concepts I had and pre-concepts as well. I starved to make an FPS game. I missed the feeling of making one. My mind geared on about Soulmint and Metroid. I thought of the pre-concept of the initial Soulmint, the early ideas of subjugation I had a little before I transitioned the name Ghost Tank to subjugation. Generally, I felt positive as I had numerous game mechanics already flowing within my mind. I had these mechanics sifting through my head through a logical standpoint. I now needed my creative aspects to shine through. I echoed back that sentiment of needing to come up with a story in 30 minutes and saw I only had 10 minutes on the clock left. I was too busy thinking of the game's loop. I quickly drafted up the concept of the story being based on mannequins missing their heads, and you need to find them. When you do, they speak to you about something detrimental to the theme of you're not alone. During the eventual development, I felt very positive the whole way through. Not once did I stop and feel blockage. Not once did I stop due to distilled creativity. I was fully empowered the whole way through. I felt utterly determined to accomplish making this game. I dubbed the game Epitome because that's what it felt like thinking about this game. It gave me an epiphany of a possible opportunity to get me more recognition. To my dismay, I did cancel some of the things of this project I'll go over in a later video. I finished the game 7 hours before it ended. I felt accomplished and happy, but a problem did arise. By the time I finished Epitome, the Mega Jam, a 7-day game jam, was at the 5 5-day countdown. I basically started the next project at the 5-day countdown. I seriously had to buckle down and speedrun harder than I've ever did with this project. The other one, I really needed to hassle. I had to speedrun this one at the speed of light. I had no time for caution. The theme for this jam was as above, so below. I thought about the ocean and instantly sparked up the draft of making a concept game on the core fabrics of thalassophobia and submechophobia. These would also help me for Shrimp's second installment, as I thought of underwater mechanics of driving underwater vehicles for it. I thought it would be a great idea to experiment with underwater venturing as some sort of vehicle for this project. It would help me understand the process when I begin to develop the underwater aspect of the second Shrimp installment. I dubbed the title for the project The Last Pull, as it combines the word thalassophobia and the word pull, since you're in a big pull centrifuged on that phobia. I felt nervous with this project as I started on the 5-day mark within the 7-day countdown range. That's 2 days of no progress on this project. The most nerve-inducing thing about the last pull was developing fish AI. I never had the time for that, sadly, but I think what's been done is fairly good for the time frame. Unlike with Epitome, that triumphant aura I felt didn't resonate well with the last pull, not because I didn't know what to do, mainly due to approaching certain tasks without the proper management of time. With Epitome, I did something I was familiar with. I made an FPS hand cannon styled game before, but this, I didn't. Usually when I do something that's new, it takes me time to understand how to properly pursue a path I see well fitting for it and to implement certain specific systems, either in logical workflow or through creative flux of designing the world building. It felt strange to me how my confidence shot down so quick when developing the last pull. When the 1-day marker approached, those emotions I felt completely suppressed, and I began to magically work with so much dire focus I never felt before. I mean, I felt it before in the past, but feeling it again, but this time with knowing what you're doing and knowing you're capable of doing improv on new systems is much more different. Unlike Epitome, I published the last pull with only like 12 minutes remaining. I barely reached the mark for it. I just can't believe how I was able to make it from start to finish. So there we have it. I've done 2 game jams, and both games are done from start to finish. I feel content about doing this, and I now have 2 additional games under my belt. In fact, after doing this, I decided to join more game jams. It's certainly a great benefit to help me explore more of the canceled concepts I have and to get recognition. I seriously want Shrimp to get discovered, and this might help me out if I keep this up. I'm already getting a good amount of profile views doing this, so it's certainly doing something. I learned that I have a new niche. It's speedrunning game development. It's so fun, honestly. The stress I feel is a happy stress. I prefer this stress as I know how to work my way through it, knowing it won't give me a blockage. People out here speedrunning games and I'm speedrunning game development. Thank you for watching this video and listening to me. I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everyone.